Hi guys, hi. Okay, so I wanted to pop on here live. I am on a secluded dirt road. Let me show you. This is the road I'm on, so y'all don't freak out about a live stream while I'm driving. Literally like a closed road. There's nobody out here, okay? So as you guys jump on, audio, video, good? Checkmate, cool. Okay, so I am in Yuma right now. I am on a road called Levee Road, and it runs along the U.S. border. Let me show you the border wall, as you guys can see right there. That is the wall. I'll drive along here, you guys can see a little bit more. I have seen several spots that are obviously incomplete, which is very similar to what we saw in Texas. I just ran into a couple of Border Patrol agents, kind of got a little debriefing from them about what their situation is like out here. They certainly don't have the manpower to deal with this, and they are, you know, openly comparing this situation here that they're experiencing to Del Rio. So if you guys remember what happened in Del Rio back in September, in that area we saw 30,000 migrants, mostly Haitian, flood into Del Rio from Ciudad Acuña in a span of 2 weeks. So at one point there were 15,000 people below the port of entry, the Del Rio International Bridge. So they're saying that this is Del Rio. When you compare the space, the amount of people that they get crossing, things like that, relatively, it's the same situation is what they're saying. So I saw a couple of groups of migrants as I was driving out here. So I wanted to start live streaming, see what else I kind of come across and see. I obviously did not stop. So on my way back, I'll let you guys see what I see and what I experience. A couple of different groups, but that is not the main group, the 4,000 people that are out here. I'm looking for where that is. You can't just like pop into Yuma and be like, oh, that's where they're holding 4,000 people against the border. There are like 300 miles of border, right? So, or 192 miles, I think, or something crazy. So, you know, you kind of have to go, oh, where is it? I've been following the wall for like 40 minutes trying to figure it out. But I got lucky. I found those Border Patrol agents and they kind of directed me in the right direction. So now I am, again, driving along the border wall. I have already seen several groups of migrants, obviously migrants, and I'm not saying that in a harmful way. I hope you guys don't take it as that. They're literally out here in the middle of the night with backpacks and children, so near the border wall. So I think that is a safe assumption. But when we go back down, depending on the situation, I do have my birdie with me, which is my like alarm device, but okay, here's a better view of the border wall. So what I do think though is maybe I'll roll down my window and ask them where they're from or if they need help or something. I don't know. Apparently dispatch out here has been inundated with calls of migrants calling them to come pick them up. So, okay, so as you guys can see, we're driving along the border wall here on Levee Road in Yuma. So the border wall is incomplete. That is the Trump wall. That is a wall that former President Donald Trump started building. There are, I would think it's safe to say, there are millions of dollars of equipment and steel and wall materials baking in the desert because the wall is not finished. And it is what many law enforcement individuals have told me is porous, is what they call the border. They're not saying it's open. It's porous and they're coming through the holes, right? So that is what we're seeing. Okay, I'm gonna turn around. I've gone far enough on down this road and I'm gonna be with the sheriff tomorrow. I think I'm just venturing a little bit deep into the weeds here. So we're gonna head back and I'll show you. I did see 3 groups of people walking. So we'll see what we can see on our way back down there. Anywho, again, I hope you guys aren't offended with my live stream and driving because this is one of those like back roads that you're only on if you have a purpose to be on it. So there's nobody out here unless pretty much law enforcement or migrants. Those are the people in Alley Bradley. Those are who's out here tonight. So anywho, do you guys have any questions? Do you have anything that you want me to ask? Do you have anything that you want to make sure that I get in? I've had a couple of people asking me about policies when it comes to criminals and Miranda rights and things like that. Now that is a really interesting one, right? Because by way, it depends on what it is, but they're likely committing illegal activity by crossing the border illegally, right? So I don't think that that's part of this, but when it comes to criminal activity outside of the illegal border crossing, apparently the Border Patrol's policy is that they have to read Miranda rights to criminals within 6 hours. 6 hours, okay? So I kind of poked a little bit. I tried to ask more questions, but it was more like a read between the lines. We're all smart, right? We know there are 4,000 people sitting down here on this road and somewhere. I haven't found them yet, but we'll see them tomorrow. And those people are sitting, waiting to be processed. Some of those people have been here for days. 6 hours, days. So it is not possible, right? Because they cannot possibly go through and vet those people and figure that out. So it is definitely a hard thing. Definitely a tough thing. Now, I did reach out to one of my awesome supporters and followers, and he gave me some information on some NGOs here in Arizona, so in Yuma. So tomorrow I'm going to be making some calls on some NGOs and seeing which areas here are helping, how they're helping, how they're getting funded. You know, some of these NGOs are funded through communities, just like a homeless shelter would be funded through community efforts and things like that. But there also is federal money that is out there to help with the immigration situation, right? So when I talked with Sister Norma Pimentel back in August when we were in Del Rio, she said that she knew there was money available, but that they were not using any of it back then. That's Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, one of the biggest NGOs that helps out the migrants in this situation. So now some of the other things that I've learned, like the Venezuelan family, they crossed the border, they went through the whole thing, they got transported to San Antonio to a military veterans facility that helps migrants as well. So they were kept there and for a couple of days, and those folks told me that they were taking very well care of, that their medical needs were all met, that you know, they were able to be cared for and then carry on their way. But now they're living in an apartment in Oklahoma, 8 people in one bedroom apartment, no refrigerator, no clothes, no food, no nothing. The American dream. What a mess. Like, I don't care where you fall, what you believe, what you see, what you feel, but what a mess. Like, there are so many countries complicit in this. CBP, Customs and Border Protection, put out some stats. 105 nationalities have crossed into our country this year alone. Where are those 105 countries having those conversations, saying, you know, or trying to make their countries better, or receiving money from the U.S. and not doing anything to make their countries better, or, you know, or the corruption, things like that? Or where's the UN? Where are the people at? You know, that, where are those people at? Aren't they about human dignity and decency? You've got hundreds of people, you got thousands of people sitting out here in Del Rio. You had 15,000 people behind a freaking fence, and nobody cared until it was down to about 2,000, and Al Sharpton showed up, and there were Border Patrol agents and their horses. It was some nonsense. That was bad. 15,000 people, man. Where's the UN? Like, that's what's up. Anyways, some people have asked me, what do they do? What do they need to do to stop this situation? What can they do? A lot of people feel helpless, and rightfully so. Okay, we're coming up to a couple groups here. And I said, write to your local lawmakers. And that's the move. I'm going to turn off my light so I'm not as, like, precarious in my car. But you guys, there's a group right there. Let me not hit the guardrail. Oh, God. Okay. I don't think it's a good idea to stop here because they're on both sides of the road, and I don't love that. But we've got little ones, and I also don't like that. So I'm going to see what's going on. Claro, estos migrantes, ¿sí? ¿Necesitas ayuda o sí? Claro. Inmigración, está. Okay, I'll try calling. I will teléfono inmigración para estas. Okay, ¿de dónde eres?
Venezuela.
Esta, Venezuela.
Sí.
Okay. ¿De dónde va? Where are you going? Where do you, United States, or where are you trying to go? Like you're staying here.
United States.
Okay, and then
United
where? Then where? What state do you want to live in? Que estud
Which state?
And so sí. Which state are you going?
¿En qué estado van ahí?
Sí.
Florida.
A Florida.
Florida. ¿Y familia en Florida?
Sí, sí.
Okay. Sí.
New York.
Okay. Sí. Okay. Gracias. Good luck.
Orlando también.
Orlando.
Orlando.
Hablando. Okay. I will hablando a inmigración y the sheriff, and I'll let them know. I'll tell them. Conoce. Okay. Okay. Be careful. Stay safe. Adios. Okay. So as you guys just heard, my Spanish is still muy malo, but I'm trying. Okay, they're all from Venezuela. They're just standing there because they just crossed into the States, and I'm like, are you going to the US? Because I'm so used to being in Mexico. And they're like, yes, they're going to Florida. This is a little bit of a mess that we're kind of on here. So this is what we're seeing all over. This is the border area. Okay, let me show you. When I say the border wall is porous, y'all, this is what I mean. Okay, I am gonna get out and show you because they're way back there. They're not coming for me. Hold on. Okay, check this out, guys. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Can you guys see this? I don't know if you can or not. Let me turn on my flash. Okay, this is the wall. You see that? Where? Oh, there it is. So, you guys, this is all over. This is all over. There's an end of the wall right there. So I just wanted to show you guys what the wall looks like. You guys know that the construction of the wall was halted in this new administration. I don't have an opinion on it, but I will say I have asked several law enforcement individuals what they thought about the wall, what their feelings were, what their sentiment was, about the wall. And a lot of people, I think, make the assumption that sheriffs in Texas, all that stuff, like they're all Democrat or all Republican, all whatever. And this like, it's not about politics for them because they're all Democrat, but they don't disagree that immigration happens, but they just don't have the manpower to handle it. They just want something that they want to process that makes sense, right? So when I asked them about the wall, they said, well, the wall was a tool. Now, whether or not they thought it was the answer, no, but they said it was a tool to have in the tool belt, right? It was one extra layer that what they thought, what I learned in Del Rio was that what the situation was the wall prevented people from streaming into the cities, from streaming into the neighborhoods, the communities, things like that. And so that is one of the reasons why former President Bush actually erected a little steel wall in Del Rio as well. It stretched about 2 miles. And so then they built the Trump wall as well. And again, that is not complete. There's a lot of really weird misconceptions around that. And I don't know if it's like because people really love Trump, so they don't want to admit that the wall's not finished, or it's because people don't like Trump and they want the wall to be finished so they can be like, haha, look, the wall doesn't work. Like, I'm confused right now. But I'm going to tell you this. The wall ain't finished. Like, the wall just ended. The wall stopped back there. So what's here, y'all? Like, that's what I'm saying. This wall's not done. And people are like arguing on my Facebook about the wall. Again, I don't understand what the infatuation is. Like, but I'm going to tell you the facts. Just the facts, ma'am. The wall's not done. It's a hot mess. The wall, though, itself is enormous. It is a big show of strength, for sure. It's ridiculously enormous. Oh, here, it starts up again. Down the wall again. Ah, there it is. There she be. See? So you guys just experienced the porous border. And then some people were saying that this isn't the Trump wall, but it absolutely is. And it looks different in different areas. Like these ones, it's like a rusty, coppery look, right? And then some people have photos of the Trump wall being a black steel thing. And that does look like that in some other areas. The border is very large. But I can assure you, this is a Trump era wall and it is unfinished. And law enforcement did believe that it would have helped a little bit. But now, you know, it's, you know, and people say people will tunnel under all those things. But again, they were just saying like it's one extra like layer, one extra thing. I am driving myself, Julie, and I have been making it very clear that I am on a closed road, and it's a gravel road that looks like this. There's nobody on this road, and it is very late here at night, so I'm just driving to live stream and show you guys. And I also wanted to be on live stream in case I got murdered, because there are a bunch of migrants out here. I mean, that's rude to say, but there's just human beings out here in the middle of the night isn't safe. It doesn't matter who you are. If I saw anybody on the side of the road, it's scary, right? So live streaming, it's like, oh, well, you guys got my back, I guess. There's kind of like a weird protection feeling there. I don't know, somebody can call 911 on my behalf. Okay, so, hi. Okay, any other questions anybody has? Oh, we found another human. Another straggler. Hi. Hey, dude. What up? Ay, Dios mío. Okay. So, the other thing. We're talking to the border agents and just chatting with people about the situation out here. And something I think is really important that we all understand and we have a little discussion about. Yes, some would say most people know the wall's not finished. Yes, you are correct. However, I am getting regular comments saying things about like, haha, the border wall really helped, or LOL, what about that wall? Like things like that. And somebody else even like shared a bunch of photos today. So I'm just clearing up the air. Just clearing it up. Yeah, cartel are out there for sure. That's why I was like not really amped on rolling my windows down, but then I saw a lot of children and made eye contact with the women and was like, I'm gonna pull over and talk to the woman. And I got a little bit of info from them, but they do need help. I clearly have not called immigration yet for them because I've been live streaming. But I did text the sheriff and I said, what do you want me to do? Because I can't help them. There's no way. So, and that's also illegal. So I think, like, I can't put them in my car. I think that's smuggling. That's not good. Okay. La la la. Hey, Michael Driver, what up? Good to see you. If you guys are not following my friend Michael Driver yet on any platform, do it. You will be mind blown at his capacity to tell a story with images. Oh, he's lovely. Lovely friend. Miss you. Thank you for joining on this. Anywho, so we are driving back through the Levee Road. Here's what I want to talk to you guys about. It's really important. This is what's going on down in Mexico. Okay, so do you remember what happened in Del Rio? Ciudad Acuña, basically, it was a holiday. I heard this from many migrants, and I also heard this from law enforcement. It was a holiday. They were over basically being held in Acuña, waiting for visa of transit. You can't go anywhere in Mexico without documentation. So they were waiting for basically passage to get out of Acuña. And so what happened was basically they turned a blind eye because it was a holiday. And so they were like, this isn't our problem, and let it go. Really, right? The levee broke loose. We saw 30,000 people basically. Okay, we're just driving. Saw 30,000 people stream into Del Rio. I'm gonna pull over now because I'm on like a real road and this is just not cool. Okay. Okay. Hazards. We pull over. We are responsible. Okay. Okay. So here's what's going on. So Mexico, when I went over and asked Ciudad Acuña, the Chamber of Commerce president, I said, why aren't you guys doing more? Why isn't Mexico doing more to stop this situation from, surging into the border? And he said a couple of things. He said, well, realistically, they don't want to stay here. They're not from here. They don't want to be here. 90% of them are not from Mexico. They're from the Triangle, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. They're from West Africa. They're from Haiti. They're from Venezuela. Okay, so he said they don't want to stay here. And when I talked to him back in August, he said basically our administration invited them. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, the president campaigned on an open border, so we didn't invite them, and they don't want to stay here. So what do you expect us to do, kind of thing? So I knew it was only a matter of time. till something happened. So we have thousands and thousands of people right now. 8,000 people are at a stadium down in Tapachula. There are thousands more within Tapachula, but 8,000 are at the stadium right now waiting for this, a humanitarian visa. It is a visa of transit through the Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Mexico. So this is their way of doing something, right? Okay, we're going to give you a humanitarian visa that allows you to work and live in Mexico. And they have certain like sanctioned states that these people can go, okay? You're down in Tapachula, in any part of Mexico, there are several checkpoints you have to go through with documentation in order to go anywhere, or else you're going to be detained instantly. If you go through a checkpoint and you do not have immigration papers, you're going into detention, and I don't know what happens after that. They just determine your situation after that. So, with that said, we have 8,000 people in Tapachula waiting. We have hundreds in Puebla, which is just near Mexico City. We have hundreds in other areas that were in the caravan that I was walking with. Some of them are in Veracruz. Some have broken off and are some of these people that, from what I can tell, are trying to cross into the U.S. I got that from a source today that some people he knew in our caravan were already trying to cross in the U.S. Now, there are still some people down in Veracruz, to my knowledge. So these humanitarian visas, what this will do, will allow them a document so that they can travel, okay? Most people had the intention when they set out on their journey to go to the U.S., to go after the American dream. That is not a secret. That is something I learned by talking with several people, thousands of people. They want the American dream. So when I talked to my source today in Puebla, and I said, what do you guys, like, what's going on? I said, we're waiting for our visa so that we can travel. And I said, but like, immigration's telling you guys, like, it's a specific state, it's a specific area that they can go, like, what's going on? And they said, yes, immigration is being very clear that it is to live and work in Mexico. And I said, but is that the intention that you're hearing? Are people willing to stay and live in Mexico? And they said, for the most part, people want to continue to the U.S. So they get these humanitarian visas. They have paperwork. It's a lot easier to move about the country, right? So when the sheriff talked with some folks today at the border here in Yuma, one of them said that they were rushing to get into the U.S. before these new laws were put into place. MPP, Migrant Protocol Protection policies were put in, or Migrant Protection Protocol policy was put into place today. So they're trying to rush and trying to get in before that. And so it's going to be interesting over the next couple of days. I am not sure. Oscar Blue is going to be heading back up to Tijuana, I believe, or he might be heading down to the Mexico side of Arizona here, so we can kind of coordinate a little bit. But he's still down in Tapachula working on some stuff, an independent journalist. And so it's going to be interesting because 23 buses left Mapastepec over the weekend. Some, like I said, some are in Puebla, some are in other areas. 8,000 are down in Tapachula. And it seems to me we're dealing with a very similar situation as far as Mexico going. Like, this kind of isn't our problem. They're doing what they can, right? They're giving them the visas and they're telling them you have to stay and work here. But it's much easier than to travel, go through checkpoints, get to the U.S. border. So they're stopping them, but not stopping them. So that's what I want you guys to know, what's going on. You know, what, yeah. Okay, so I'm looking to see any questions. Yeah, Julie, the American dream, that's a joke. I know, and I even talked to them about that. I said, you know, why aren't you guys willing to live and work in Mexico? And they said, the work is too hard for the wages that you get. And I was like, but it's all relative. Like, I'm staying in a hotel for $25 or $30 a night. And if I were to stay in a hotel like that in Seattle, it'd be $250 to $300 a night. You know, now you've got families that are living 8 to a room. They don't have food, clothing, like nothing for their baby, like nothing. And they just kind of get set loose. Like immigration, they have the Venezuelan family has a notice to appear on the 15th. They just kind of got kicked out into the country. And by the grace of God, they know somebody. They have like a brother-in-law's friend who's helping them financially. They have no reason to lie to me at this point. They're in the US. But their brother-in-law's helping them a little bit financially. And so he bought them plane tickets and got them into an apartment. Well, now they have nothing. And so I tried to give them a NGO number out there to help. I mean, like, I am always going to be a human first, you guys. So please don't say I'm helping the immigrant situation or whatever. But I have kept in contact with these people because there are stories to be told. Like, you cannot just extort people and take from them. So I was like, what are they doing? So I started looking like, what is in Oklahoma? Because they have nothing. They can't speak a lick of English. They're using a translate app to talk to me. So I'm like, did you call them? And they're like, yes, but they didn't speak English, so we got nowhere. You know, so like, that's what's happening to these people. We're literally, like, America is this shiny, beautiful thing to them. And then they have this idea that they're gonna be taken care of. And then they just get turned loose with nothing. I don't know where they're getting the idea that they're gonna be taken care of. But when I talked to people that were in Mexico, in Tapachula, they said, we don't want to stay in Mexico anymore because Mexico didn't take care of us. When I talked to people that lived in Cuba, they said, we don't want to live in Cuba anymore because Cuba didn't take care of us. When they were living in Colombia, we don't want to live in Colombia anymore because inflation got so high and they didn't take care of us. So they want to be taken care of, that is clear. But they also do want to work. Many of them have told me that they want to work. So, you know, I am never going to judge because that is not my job. I'm only going to give you the facts and give you what I know and what I see. And I'm going to show you what I see when I see it. So, an app who's paying for their phone. Okay, so they actually use WhatsApp. It is like a voice messenger and it's an international one. And I will tell you this, a lot of people have asked about phones and how they have money to have their phones. When you have nothing else and you're traveling across countries, you will prioritize your phone. You will. I've seen it. It's their only lifeline. It's their only lifeline to someone who can receive them. It's what they receive them in the US. You know, like our sponsors who can receive them. They can't talk to anyone if they don't have a phone. They charge their phones. They prioritize that. It is, I mean, you don't see a lot of people in America without phones either. The homeless population have phones too. It's a priority thing. It's interesting, but it happens for sure. Okay, so anyways, I don't see any other questions or any pressing things except for Brenda saying boo-hoo. Not sure if she's saying that to me or, you know, because the family doesn't have anything. I mean, sure. But like what sucks, Brenda, is this family, from what they've told me, and maybe I took the bait, but from what this family has told me, by way of our laws, they have a viable asylum refugee case. So you can say boo-hoo all you want. But if that's how we treat refugees, we treat our military, all these things, right? We've got some work to do in America, period. Because they do qualify. It's not my law. You can't be mad at me. And you can't, you know, you can't dislike that I have a human being bone and I'm a Christian. If you do, you don't have to follow me. Okay, so yeah, phones overfeeding their own children. Yes. And here's the other thing, Connie. So here's what I learned. They know they're going to get food, right? Like they know. This one family that flew to Orlando after Del Rio literally told me they'd rather be back under that bridge in the dirt because they knew they were going to have resources. They know they're going to get a meal. No one's going to let them die. Like, that's not going to happen. But they might not have a phone. Nobody's going to let them die once they get over. Like, you know what I mean? U.S. is very humane, obviously. So, anyways, I appreciate you all. I'm going to get back on the road. I'm going to get back to my hotel and get to rest. Whatever that means. And gonna start to work on some more information that I need to just dig into a little bit. Maybe talk with some locals. I'm going through some personal stuff right now with my family. So I'm really praying that God gives me the strength to get through this mission. Hopefully I don't break and bail. But I am tough. You guys are my support. You got my back. I know it. Tomorrow night, I am slated to be on News Nation once again with Leland Vittert at 7 p.m. I believe that is Eastern time. So I believe it's 4 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll be talking about what we're seeing here and what we're dealing with here. So I hope you guys are hanging out for the ride. I appreciate you. Connie, protect your peace, girl. I do certainly appreciate you guys more than you know. Stay safe over on that side. I'll see you guys soon. Stick around. I'm likely going to be streaming. I'm going to hopefully be like dual streaming on Instagram, or sorry, on YouTube and Facebook, because my Facebook streams keep getting messed with. I'm going to try to mess with that a little bit tomorrow morning. So if I'm doing weird tests tomorrow morning, you guys know why. I'm trying to figure that out. Trying to get you guys all the info you need. Make sure that Facebook doesn't put a stop to me. Don't report my page if you don't like something either. That's my final thought. Final remark. If you guys don't like something I'm talking about, let's discuss it. Like, let's have the uncomfortable conversation. Let's talk about why you don't like what I'm talking about, or why you think I'm sitting on a certain side, or what questions you have. Please don't report my page, because I can honestly stand in my faith on everything I believe in. I have not shared anything that has been spun, sensationalized, not factual, one-sided or the other. I, on my life, have worked so hard to make sure that I am not slanting things so that you guys can make up your own minds. So please keep my space, my page as a forum for uncomfortable conversations, to bring us together again, to see things that we wouldn't see because of our echo chambers. So please, if you are compelled to comment negatively, if you are compelled to report my page, let's talk. I will tell you this, people that have disagreed with me, every single one that I've reached out to has become an ally. So please, let's discuss. I am not, same team, guys, same team, not against you. Same team, always, okay? So thank you. I appreciate you. Prayers up for everybody, for all of you. Thinking about you guys always, because I would not be able to do this without you. Certainly would not. So keep asking the questions, keep sharing the info. I'll keep doing my job over here, but I want questions from you guys I have not covered. If you guys got any, if you guys got any, y'all know what I mean. It's late, I'm tired. All right, that is it for me. Good night. I think we're good. We're safe. Take care, my friends. I'll see you soon.